Welcome to the Abundant Accountant Podcast. This is where accounting professionals just like you learn all the ways to grow their firm, sharpen their skills, and have consistent increasing sales. I cover topics such as detaching from the emotional side of the sale, having paradigm shifts in the most important part of your business, which is the nucleus of your accounting firm, sales, and how to see an objection really as an asset and stop giving away your time for free for those that don't deserve it. So you can actually get paid your value and your worth and grow your top line revenue. You'll learn tips, sales strategies, as well as hear from personal interviews from successful accounting professionals. This podcast will show you exactly the blueprint on how to create the firm and life of your dreams full of abundance. Welcome to the Abundant Accountant Podcast. Today we have a very special guest. Our special guest is the founder and CEO of Clockwork, which is the first AI-powered financial planning and analysis platform. He is a lifelong entrepreneur and Jordanian immigrant and has honed his skills at Boeing, building billion-dollar financial models for commercial and defense programs before venturing into the world of consulting and outsourced CFO. He was frustrated by the limitations of traditional FP&A tools, and he envisioned and built Clockwork, which is a platform now leading the industry with cutting-edge features like consolidated forecasting and payroll integrated headcount planning. But before we welcome our special guest to the show, if you're an accounting, tax, or bookkeeping firm owner and you want to stop trading time for dollars, you want to learn how to let go of overly demanding clients and finally get paid based on your value and worth, here's what I've got for you. At The Abundant Accountant, we empower firm owners to build thriving practices through our sales training program. You'll gain skills and strategies to command premium fees, get paid up front, know who your ideal clients are, and finally achieve work-life balance without the stress. I show you a system to have clients learn how to value your time without having to discount fees, without having to negotiate on your prices or devalue your worth in a way that feels simple, effortless, and automatic. So you can work the hours you want to work while still having plenty of time for your family. If you want to explore how to put an end to all of that and really have that freedom and less stress and free time, then go to theabundantcall.com and I'll show you how to close more clients and end the second guessing. You can stop procrastinating your potential and know exactly how to fill your firm with ideal clients through a simple, effortless sales system. So book your strategy call today at theabundantcall.com. And after you book a call, there is a short application to fill out. And now let's welcome our very special guest, Fady, to the show. Welcome to the show, Fady.
Excited to be here, Michelle.
Yeah, thanks for being here and taking out the time to share everything that you've created and how it helps firm owners become more efficient, make more money, and all that fun stuff. But some people probably don't know who you are. So I'd love it if you could share just a little bit about you, maybe 30 seconds, about who you are and what you created, and then we can dive into our conversation today.
Yeah, no, I'm excited. We're going to have fun. So I call myself a recovering CFO. So I'm a finance and accounting guy, worked at Boeing in FP&A and strategy, and then oil and gas consulting. And then I ran and scaled my own outsourced CFO consulting firm for about 5 years, which is where I got the idea for Clockwork to get out of spreadsheets.
I love spreadsheets. Actually, I don't know, Fady, but my nickname that one of my friends who's stand-up comedian, she nicknamed me Spreadsheet, and she had a few bits and jokes all about it. So I still love spreadsheets, but I am not a CFO. And I know there's so many firm owners out there that want to increase their revenue and offer more services and more value to clients. And, you know, CFO services seems to be the thing that it is.
Yeah, so, it's the spreadsheet life is... Spreadsheets are amazing. I mean, they will never, ever go away.
Yes.
But, value is what we need to create for our clients. And being in a spreadsheet does not provide value.
100%. So the fact that you're a recovering CFO, can you share a little bit about that and then how you made the transition to create Clockwork?
Yeah. So I actually took a full-time CFO, COO job with one of my clients while I was running my outsourced CFO firm. And I learned a lot of really good CFO, COO habits, how to cut costs, how to be super careful about selling and promising and delivering and executing on this on the actual day-to-day operations with the entire team. And starting Clockwork, like I never intended on starting a tech company. I had been the CFO of a bunch of tech companies, but that was never a thing. I'm not a technical guy. I'm a finance guy. And I call myself a recovering CFO because to be a CFO, you have to learn so many unique things that a lot of brains don't work that way. A lot of there's a lot of learned habits that need to be there. But when you're the CEO of a tech company, your brain has to live in the future. And as a CFO, I'm living in the right now and tying the
Yeah.
right now to the future. And it was a very, very big shift. And when I look at investments that I've made, and now we're a VC backed company, but I bootstrapped Clockwork for 4 years.
Wow.
And so if I wasn't a CFO, I wouldn't have been able to do that. So from that side, it was really, really good. But it definitely limited me in terms of being super risky, super go to market minded rather
Hmm.
than let me build the best product, because I was building a product for myself.
Right.
And that definitely it definitely took scars.
Yeah, I bet. So I totally understand now why you're a recovering CFO. And, here at the Abundant Accountant, we help people with enrollment, sales, having a step-by-step sales process, and converting these clients into paying clients. Now, one of the biggest challenges I've also heard is, well, how do I do the work and make it more efficient? So I'd love it if you could share for those people that don't know how Clockwork works. Can you share how it works and how it can save someone who's going to offer CFO advisory services as a service in their firm? How much time can they save? What does that look like?
Yeah, the time saving is tremendous out of the box. I mean, Clockwork integrates with QuickBooks Online and Xero, and we are the first and only AI powered FP&A tool, because I incorporated Clockwork back in 2018 when I was talking about AI powered financial planning, and everyone thought I was crazy. And so Clockwork literally builds your account in minutes. In 3 minutes, you have a 5-year model, weekly cash flow forecast, balance sheet forecasts, headcount plans, everything, because Clockwork's analyzing the transactional data. And
Mm.
so when I did this for my clients, I would take probably 20 hours to build an account, just to build one and get a framework to actually start doing the modeling on a regular basis. So Clockwork out of the box, you're taking 20 hours of work into 3 minutes.
Wow.
And it's always up to date in real time. So usually you're taking 5, 6, 7, 8 hours every month to just update your models and update your stuff. So not only do you save a good chunk of change on the setup, but you're saving it on the maintenance. And then you can just provide so much more value for your clients by looking at the numbers, analyzing them, giving them different plans and scenarios without charging any less. If anything, you're charging more,
More.
and
Hmm.
you're working way less, and you don't
Yeah.
have to be, kind of worried about human error, manual errors, messing up an Excel sheet, sending over an Excel sheet, or anything like that.
Hmm. And so when you had your CFO hat on and you had your firm at the time, what would you say was the biggest struggle for those firm owners that want to offer this service? And, they have maybe some clients that could convert to these, just from bookkeeping and become more strategic, or just a firm that wants to start out of the gate. What would you say was, the biggest hurdles that you had to overcome when you were, putting your firm owner hat on? but that you overcame and you were able to, make it happen, because so many firm owners say, oh, I don't know who would be a good client for that, and I don't know what to do. And it sounds like, well, Clockwork will help you with the what to do part. But share with us a little bit about that.
Yeah, there's two sides of it. From the soft skill side, it's confidence. And from the hard skill side, all the technical finance work, like the modeling, the cash flow forecasting, just being able to build all that stuff and customize it. But a lot of times, with the firms that we work with, they come to us and they're like, I have to go find a client to sign this up for.
Exactly.
And I'm like,
no, you
okay, create an account in minutes and go show it to your client and sign them up. Like there's, a lot of the firms we talk to, it's actually kind of funny. They come back to us and they're like, they said yes. I'm like,
yeah,
the demand is tremendous. And being the accountant or bookkeeper or controller or anything, you have a massive leg up versus people like me. Like I'm not an accountant, right? I'm a finance guy that started an outsourced CFO firm, and I was selling outsourced CFO services, but I was stealing business from accountants because those clients kept asking for the stuff that I knew how to do with the modeling and the forecasting and all that stuff. But their accountants, didn't have the confidence to offer it and didn't have the hard skills to provide it. And so Clockwork definitely bridges that gap and allows, we always say we empower accountants to provide what they're already providing just a lot more seamlessly.
Yeah. And giving them the confidence because there's a tool to actually use to deliver it to the client. Yeah.
And we give them the talk track, right? We have, so our accounting firm program is called the Clockwork Champions Program. And we champion the firm as much as they champion us. So we will give you what we call the Champions Toolkit, which is an advisory playbook around pricing, around packaging, around meeting agendas, around meeting timing, around what clients should fit perfectly for you. And so we're actually not just giving a software. I always say Clockwork's not a software, it's a solution. And so we're actually giving you the solution for advisory. It's not just a software that you sign up for and then we talk to you at renewal and that's it. You're literally getting co-branded marketing material. You're getting the playbook for advisory. You're getting a lot of the best practices and insights into all the stuff that we're building. So we genuinely partner with a lot of our firms, because that was something that I was missing, because I was a paying user of all of our now competitors. I was literally a paying user of them. And that was always missing.
Yeah. And I think that component, it's something we touch on here a lot. Like I'm sure the pricing and how to package things, but how do you have that enrollment conversation? And how do you have the client say yes to you with like, well, that was a no-brainer. And how I think so many accountants and bookkeepers can utilize this tool to deliver more value to their clients, because this is ultimately what they need. The clients just don't really know it yet. And they might, but they're not able to communicate that. So when you were making this transition, what was the most challenging part for you going from firm owner to creating a product and service?
Really just the understanding that perfect was getting in the way of progress. Yeah. And I could not I kept looking at Clockwork. I'm like, but it doesn't have the driver-based forecasting and it doesn't have the custom imports and it doesn't, and all these very specific CFO type stuff. And I'm like, but I had a lot of people that were like, yeah, but we could still use it and we could still, I'm like, no, it's not good enough. It's not good enough. It's not good enough. And so that was a massive, massive hurdle that I still to this day, I mean, there's so many features and functions that we build. And I'm like, no, it's not good enough. And then my team's like, dude, this is way better than a lot of like, we need to just launch. And I'm like, oh yeah. And then we give it to users and all of our partners are like, oh my God, we love this. And I'm like, all right, so maybe I should just stop over engineering, and put my CEO hat on versus my CFO hat on.
Well, I mean, there's lots of firm owners that I've worked with, complete perfectionist. I mean, perfectionism just gets in the way of everybody, especially if you love numbers and spreadsheets. We want it to be perfect. But in like you said, the being done is better than perfect, and letting the users tell you, hey, here's what needs to be shifted or changed. Yeah, I love that. So when you were deciding to make this transition and to take that leap and build your own company, what was the deciding moment to make that change?
So there were actually two things. One was
Mm-hmm.
I had signed up for what was considered kind of the industry leading solution, and
At the
I had
time.
at the time, yeah, and I had trusted it. They were the biggest one. They were, repped by the AICPA and all the. They were the kind of no brainer kind of choice, and I was like, okay, I've tried every other software. And I'll finally go with what everyone's been telling me about because, I'm a stubborn guy. And when I tried it, I had signed up a client. I went through 6 months of implementation and I paid thousands of dollars and I signed up these 3 clients and I was paying so much money. And I was like, you know what? Let me just trust this software. And I delivered it to my client. The software told my client that they had 6 months of runway left. It was different than what I had planned, but I was like, hey, maybe I'm missing something. I was so busy, I didn't really double check.
Mm.
In reality, my client had 3 months of runway left. And I caught it a month later. And I went to my client, hat in hand, and I'm like, I am so sorry, but you don't have 6 months. You actually have
2 months.
not 5 months, you have 2 months.
Uh-huh.
And they were like, dude, what? No way, blah, blah. And we had to do layoffs. We had to do kind of a whole thing. We ended up getting a $500,000 bridge loan, debt financing. And it was just an ugly picture. And I had never been more embarrassed. And as you said, as a CFO, as an accountant, as a book, like we are perfectionists. We have to be perfect because being perfect means literally the difference between life or death for some of our clients and their
Yeah. And
businesses.
their businesses.
And so I've never in a million years of my career been more embarrassed, and I felt like an absolute piece of junk. And I
Mm-hmm.
was like, you know what? I'm done. I'm done with trusting any software. And you know the saying, if you want something done right, you got to do it yourself.
Self. Yep.
And that was the number one thing from a client delivery value perspective that I was like, I have to do something.
Mm.
And that was kind of the biggest one.
Wow. Yeah. And what do you say to people right now that might say, oh, well, I don't trust the output of Clockwork, because I think everybody doesn't trust something in some softwares, right? Like that's always going to be in the back of someone's mind. What do you have to say to that firm owner that might be thinking that right now? Like, oh, I want to try this, but
Try it, right? It takes 3 minutes to see everything, to
Mhm.
see all the data, to see, you don't have to spend time and money implementing Clockwork. You don't have to spend all this energy
Right.
seeing if it's good or if it isn't. You
Mhm.
can see in literal minutes, everything is right in front of you. And so, that was always the biggest thing when we first started Clockwork. I said, literally ease of use and accuracy are the two pillars that Clockwork is built on.
Mhm.
And that's been from 2018 when I first incorporated it. I said, this is exactly what it's going to be. And we've been, I'll kind of hang my hat on, we've been really, really firm on those two pillars. And so when people create the account, I'll never forget all the compliments. We had one person create an account and they were in the same bucket, right? We don't
Mhm.
trust it. We don't believe it.
Yep.
There's no way that this software is as good as my spreadsheets,
Mhm.
da da da
Yep.
da. She created the thing and she calls me. And this lady on the demo, I'll never forget. She was so, you know, we've all come across negative Nancy, right? Every single
Yep.
little thing. She kept asking the gotcha questions,
Yep.
like, oh, I'm gonna get this guy. And fortunately, I had been able to answer a lot of her questions successfully. And at the end, she was like, okay, it seems cool enough for me to try it. And so she tried it. And then in 3 days, she emails me back and she goes, Clockwork is to the week accurate on 6 of the 7 clients that I
Clients you
integrated.
tried it with.
And I'm like, So did I lie to you? And she goes, no. She goes, I've never seen anything like this. And she came back to me and that now they've been successful partners of ours for a long time.
Nice.
But those are always the most rewarding things where, we want to change the way that, because so many accountants get burned on software.
Oh, I know. Well, I think so many firm owners get burned on software. They get burned on coaching programs because I hear that all the time. Just, when we're enrolling people into our 8-week sales mastery course. Oh, Michelle, what's different between this and what everyone else is doing? You all say the same thing. We're all going to double revenue in this. And I think that especially the CPAs, they're just skeptic. Like you're trained to be a skeptic. So no matter what we put out there, and I say, well, just go watch my 200 testimonials, and like you have to put up these clients that are saying this is accurate, and if your two pillars are accuracy and, making sure, what was the other pillar? Accuracy and ease of use. It's almost like what I hear all the time. This sounds too good to be true. I'm like, it is. If you put the work in, with us, you have to invest time, you have to put the work in. I can't just make magic happen, but I can make magical results happen if you put effort in. And so I think so many times just softwares are too complicated. I just had a client tell me just the other day, they were, like a use case for making changes to software, but they have 750,000 clients, something crazy like that. And they're actually going to go switch back to what they used before because the use was so not easy. And their team is just too far behind during, the busiest time of year. So I think the fact that you have, the ease of use and you've got the accuracy, those are two probably most important things if a firm owner is going to offer CFO advisory services in their firm. Those are two crucial elements. And that's awesome. Okay, so if a firm owner wants to offer CFO advisory services in their firm, and they're where you were at probably back in 2016, before you started this company, they're in their spreadsheets, they don't really know where to start. What would you say are like the first, like if we looked at it in 3 steps, the first step that a firm owner would need to do? Maybe option A is if you already have clients, and option B is if you're starting from scratch and they want to start from scratch with CFO advisory services. What's like the first 3 steps that a firm owner should take in order to get off the ground and actually create a firm that can consistently do 100 to 500,000 of revenue a year? Because so many firms just, think, oh, well, I just need to go get leads. I just need to do marketing. Well, yeah, that's a piece of it. But if you don't have the delivery and the methods, then what good is it to go just do marketing? So what would you say from your experience, since you actually created this business in the past, were successful, and now have the tool to implement ease and accuracy for firm owners?
Yeah. I mean, that's the holy grail. I mean, there's 2 ways. So I'll start with if you have clients.
Yep.
If you have clients, the step 1 is just wake up. Like you are probably already doing advisory. You're just not charging for it.
Yep.
And step 2 is fire your bad clients. Every single one of us, anyone who's worked with you always know who are your bad clients, and get rid of them. Get rid of them. They're taking too much time and you're not making enough money on them. And the third one is look at your client base and who will benefit from additional help. I mean, that's why we are in this field. We see things that people don't see. And when our clients are working, and they're running their businesses, that's why they run their businesses. That's why they do what they're good at. And they expect you to do what you're good at. And if you go to your clients and say, hey, listen, I've been watching you and I've been seeing things and this is what you should do, and it results in paying me an additional $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 a month, that's the aftermath. It's providing that value for your clients because of their situation. That changes the game entirely. That makes it a not dramatic conversation of, oh my gosh, I'm going to be a salesperson. I don't want to nickel and dime my clients and
Yep.
yada, yada, yada. It's like you're already doing it. You know the clients who you need to get rid of to have more brain space and more energy, and you know the clients who need it. And
But
your
Fatty,
clients,
I need the revenue. I can't fire my clients. I need to keep them until I can replace that revenue. That's
that, yeah, that's literally that's the trap.
yep.
That's the trap because if you raise your prices, and I said, literally worked on accounts where we tell them just raise your prices across the board
Yep.
20%. And they're like, but that means I'm like, just do it 20%. You're not going to lose 20% of your clients. You'll make 20% more money, but you're not going to lose 20% of your clients. And even if you do, those probably weren't that good of clients anyways. And it's always the chicken or the egg. It's
It is
always the chicken
always.
or the egg. And if there are 12, 13 million companies on QuickBooks and Xero alone,
Wow.
they're not going anywhere. There are maybe 70, 80,000 accounting firms in the US. Like that number is a dramatic difference. So there's always going to be a demand for firms that provide extraordinary value. And if you're keeping up with the technology and the I mean, we have firms that go from each accountant, each controller can manage 10 to 12 clients. They go and start using Clockwork, they're literally doubling that within a month. That demand's not going anywhere. And
Yep.
firm owners just need to get better at keeping ahead of the demand and kind of, and again, goes back to the confidence. Like you are good enough. You provide good enough services. And that really is a large part of the battle.
Yeah. No, it totally is. All right. And so let's go for the new firm owners. No clients. Just starting out. They're in a corporate job. They want to quit. Oh, I want to do CFO advisory. This is the new buzz, you know.
Talk to your people, because usually when you want to go and launch your own CFO, and this is what I did. So I came from an oil and gas consulting firm. I was super comfortable, and when I started from scratch, I had 3 clients that kept asking. I was doing the work for them on the side, and they kept asking me for more and more things. So I already had clients before I even knew it, and then when I was like, you know what, maybe I should just go full bore on this, I quit. And I was like, hey, clients, this is my service. This is how much it's going to cost. I initially started, my initial tier was $3,000 a month. And I, told them, this is what it is. This is what you need. 2 of them signed on. 1 of them didn't. And I was like, well, that's not bad. And then those clients started telling their other clients. And that's how it grew so quickly. But if you're starting from scratch, like if you don't know of a client already that wants to work with you, it's going to be pretty significantly, it's going to be kind of difficult. But just get plugged into, so I ran the finance literacy workshop series at the largest healthcare incubator in Chicago.
Oh, wow.
And that's how I got
A great way to get leads.
yeah, ton of clients. And it was awesome because it cemented you as a thought leader. It provided you a lot of good tactical experience and a lot of, kind of cementing yourself as like the industry expert on the finance side. And the second you're in something like that, that'll spread like wildfire.
Yeah. Well, you had an entrepreneurial hat. I think for a lot of new firm owners, you have to remember you're going to be an entrepreneur. You're going to stay an entrepreneur. And those people just stay in a job. You have to figure out a way and get creative on how to generate interest and leads. And I think, Fady, that's a great way, find those incubators, find where the entrepreneurs are hanging out. But it's not like people are just going to fall in your lap. That's just not how entrepreneurship works.
Yeah. So. And I never got a referral because my financial model was so good. That was not, I got my referral because I helped the client raise $1 million. I got referrals because I helped them generate 2 million more in revenue. I got referrals because I improved their margins, right? You got
referrals stuff. Because you got the outcome. I always talk about in sales, we focus on the outcome, not the thing we do.
Yeah.
You know, the Clockwork probably, software part of it is just the thing that gets your client the outcome and helps you. And if you can learn how to articulate that, then that is why you get referrals and it spreads really quick. Well, Fady, thank you so much for being here with us today on the Abundant Accountant podcast. It's awesome to hear your story and share, the different steps that firm owners should take if they want to offer CFO advisory and how they can utilize your tools and software. Is there anything else that you feel compelled to share that maybe we just didn't talk about yet before we wrap up today?
First of all, thank you for that. This was a really awesome conversation. I think the biggest thing is your clients deserve better, and your clients are asking for better, and that's always the thing. We're in this. I love accountants and bookkeepers and controllers and CFOs, but that's not why Clockwork exists. Clockwork exists for their clients, and we all exist for clients, and so. Making sure that we're doing the best for our clients and getting out of our own way to make sure that we provide the best we can for our clients is literally why we're here. Yep.
No, I love that. And, I like if we want to create change for these companies, like with your example, poor accuracy almost had a company. If you didn't catch that mistake, probably go out of business if you didn't figure that out quickly, right? Because of the inaccuracy and that they rely on all of you. Every business owner relies on you and that you're the backbone of these companies. So, well, Fady, thank you so much for being here with us today on The Abundant Accountant. It was an honor to have you here, and thank you again.
Yeah, amazing. Thank you, Michelle.
Thank you all so much for joining Fady and I here on another amazing episode of the Abundant Accountant podcast. And if you're a firm owner and you want to free yourself of the awkward sales call and really deliver more CFO advisory without constantly having to be worried and freezing up or coming across pushy during your sales meetings, I have a solution for you. I'll show you how to have every single call be smooth like butter. So you're not going to get hung up on any client. You're not going to know what not to pay and what not to say. And you're going to know exactly how to price and package your CFO advisory services and get paid for the value and your expertise. I understand the challenge of converting leads into high-paying premium clients and the frustration of underpricing your services that is leaving you with an empty bank account, feeling exhausted, like, why are you working so hard for so little? So I'll show you how to close every single client in one phone call so you can finally pay off your debt and go on a dream vacation that you only used to probably dream of doing back in the day. If that's interesting to you, here at The Abundant Accountant, I've perfected a simple step-by-step process that will allow you to eliminate this guesswork, eliminate the stress, and eliminate the anxiety that you feel right now so you can have the financial freedom that you've been dreaming of. When you book your complimentary call with me and my team, you do so at theabundantcall.com. And we'll talk about how to take control of those sales conversations, how to close more high-paying clients, and put an end to that second guessing on your pricing. And we'll show you exactly how to do this when we have our call together. So go to theabundantcall.com and book your complimentary, no obligation strategy call with me and my team. On this call, we'll look at what you're currently doing in your practice. We'll look at the revenue blockers, and we'll also lay out an exact roadmap so that you can as much as double your revenue without having to chase down new clients. Now, if you love what we work on together on our call, we can continue that conversation and implement a system together, and I'll walk you through what that would look like. And if you don't want to, you can just do it on your own, and that's okay too. We can part as friends, and you can send us a couple of referrals. Either way, everyone wins. The only way you lose is by not taking action today and trying something different. So go to theabundantcall.com, find a spot that works for you, and lock in your no obligation strategy call with me and my team before spots run out. So choose the first spot that you see, and we look forward to speaking to some of you soon.